And here we go.
We're good.
All right, we're better at that. All right. Have to start off. Also, welcome into Tailgate Talks. What's up, everybody? Got to start off. We've got to get the easy one out of the way. Bob, 30 seconds. Reaction to the Will Smith slap. Go.
That is one of the greatest moments in history, mainly because it really just took over the internet in a way I have not seen a mainstream pop culture thing do in pretty much forever. Monday, the memes were amazing. Thank you,
Oh,
internet,
God.
for supplying great memes. And it's literally what, everyone at the office, my parents, my sister, friends, just everybody was talking about it. It was crazy. It's insane. Will Smith, you're pathetic. Other than that, great moment.
Yeah, it was unreal. And I will say, Will Smith, bitch level now, man. You slapped a man. I don't care what it is. It's gears. What's up, man? Like, I can't fathom the idea of, look, defend your woman, whatever. Think what you want about that relationship. We all know it's nonsense. But you slapped a man.
On national TV.
Palm. Like, that's not what a man does. That's not how a man solves his problems.
You want him to walk up and punch him?
I don't want him to do anything. Just yell at him, if anything, or give him a stare down. But if you're gonna, I'm sorry, if I was in that situation and I have to pick between a slap and a punch, I'm gonna man up and punch the guy. Like, come on. I know you're probably gonna get in trouble. You're probably gonna get arrested. But at that point, just sack up, man.
Credit to Chris Rock for handling that like a true champ.
Legend.
Didn't freak out. Took it like a pro, and then kept the show going. He didn't make a big deal out of it.
All the guys from Grown Ups are coming to his defense on Twitter, and I just kept seeing like David Spade and Adam Sandler tweets, and I'm like, that's a brotherhood right there. Did you know that house, by the way? Did you know the Grown Ups house is in Essex, Mass?
I did not know that. Are you serious?
Yeah, I saw that on like a reel today. It was unreal. I won't say TikTok, because I saw it on Instagram, but yeah, that's wild. But yeah, no, Chris Rock, huge, and all I want in this world right now is a 2-hour Comedy Central roast of the entire Smith family hosted by Chris Rock. That's all I want. I think it's fair. It's retribution.
Keep
waiting. It's what America wants. Like, imagine. It's Gear. I appreciate that It's Gears is leaving us some comments. Imagine at the ESPYs if Aaron Donald got up and tackled the host. Well, all right, that would be pure assault at that point.
That would be death.
But that would be epic.
The man benches 500. I feel bad for the host, whoever it is.
My God, I can bench a little more than half of that, so I feel a little bit better actually about that. Humble flex, 285.
But end of the day, I think we got great meme material. The slap is the new popular meme. I'm all about it.
It really is. There are just a ton of great ones there. My personal favorite was the Julian Edelman retirement, and then Tom Brady coming in with the slap. That one was just like perfectly played. Chris Rock's got shows in Boston.
Actually, he does.
It's Gears. I'm glad you're the only ones commenting, because I'm going to get all your comments today, man. I love this.
So, and also just a fun fact. So before the slap, all the shows, I think he's at the Wilbur in Boston. All the shows were already sold out before the slap. But after the slap, the next day, the Wilbur got literally the phone lines were slammed the entire day. People just asking to buy some tickets. Down the road too, in other areas, he's doing shows. Tickets been sold out. So like,
wild.
This got him some money.
Absolutely freaking wild. All right. Aside for the greatest moment in internet history, let's get to some football. Got a few news and notes, but we got a fun show today because it's basically a draft preview here. We're going to be going through my top 5 positional rankings, so top 5 players each position, to get you guys kind of familiar with the players that you're going to hear called in April, which we are, I believe, just under a month away.
Correct.
28th. Yeah, you're right. I can't wait. I'm taking that Friday off. It's going to be a fun night, Bob. I might have to come over for that one. It's going to be wild.
We got to do something special, that's for sure.
We do. We really do. But we're going to go through the top 5 rankings. We got some fun stuff here. And then I made a post-free agency mock draft. Bob hasn't even looked at it yet, so we're going to go through, and he is going to tear the thing apart. Just rip me and make me defend my picks. So I think we're going to have a fun time here. But got to start with a few news and notes. So thankfully, we covered basically all the big things that happened in free agency. We broke the Teron Armstead signing with Miami on the show last week. Huge addition for the Dolphins, but not as huge as the other addition they made. And that one was like a day later. Tyreek Hill wide receiver from Kansas City, arguably the most dangerous offensive weapon in all football, traded to the Dolphins after basically he saw Devontae Adams get $28.5 million. He said, I want more than that. And the Kansas City Chiefs said, we can't do that. Go find it somewhere else. And he did.
He did.
He gets traded for a first-round pick this year, so number 29 overall, a second-round pick this year, a fourth-rounder this year, and then a fourth and a sixth in 2023.
Steal.
Like, Miami picked up two of the best available players, which we didn't even know Tyreek was available, in a matter of like 48 hours. And, I mean, what reactions to this trade just off the bat as an NFL fan?
What gets me is that Miami has two first-round picks next year. All right. So the very first talking point, because the Jets, I can't imagine what the Jets are offering for it. And I understand Tyreek had something to play in the role with, where he wanted to go. But at the end of the day, if you're Kansas City, you have to get out as much as possible. And for Tyreek Hill, who you mentioned is probably the most dangerous weapon in football right now, to get one first rounder collectively, I don't care about the rest of the picks. Because the rest of the picks, let's be realistic here, are lottery picks. First rounders matter the most. To get one late round, first round pick is an absolute joke.
But I'm going to argue that by saying Devontae Adams, he got one. You're not only paying for Tyreek Hill, you're paying to pay him. So you do have to take $30 million in cap space. One thing you're forgetting is Devontae Adams the week before that got traded for the 22nd overall pick and a second round pick this year. So Tyreek goes 7 slots later, but they get the additional 3 picks with him. So I think at that point, the trades aren't that uneven. Obviously, Devontae is well known as the best player. The 22 to 27, especially in this year's draft, it's not that much of a difference.
I'll counter saying Devontae clearly wanted to go to Oakland to play with Derek Carr, his boy. All right. As far as I'm concerned, there weren't any other real contenders to trade for Devontae. It was a clear, at least two-way race between the Jets and the Dolphins, and what Kansas City should have done. And at that point, from the reporting, and I don't care what Tyreek said after the fact, but at the reporting that he was open to both, it was really just who was going to pay him. Both were willing to pay him. And then if the Jets were offering, I'm assuming that the Jets were making at least a solid trade package offer. And at that point, it's a bidding war. So
I think the rumor is with them, they weren't offering any first round picks, but they have a lot of high second round picks, and they can basically afford some future capital. So I think at the end of the day, it sounds like the trade packages total, because you take the value of each draft pick, they were pretty even. He chose Miami. He has a house in Miami. It was bound to happen.
I'd rather go to Miami than New York as well. But
exactly, I think a lot of people would. But yeah, just a wild move. I mean, for the Chiefs, they couldn't pay him, and I think you got to look at them in the AFC West right now, and they need to make a move. They have 2 first-round picks they can package. I fully expect them to be trying to trade up, maybe go get one of these top 5 receivers who we're going to talk about in a little bit, but they got to do something, because right now it's Travis Kelce and they're going to really count on Valdez-Scantling downfield.
Cole Hardman, Byron Pringle. Come on, there's plenty.
Cole Hart. Oh yeah, is Byron Pringle signed with Chicago? Actually, I'm pretty sure.
Did he?
I'm 99.9% sure he signed with Chicago. I'm going to look it up right now.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire then will be leading the Chiefs in catches.
Hey, man, he is a good one, honestly. Byron Pringle. Okay, hold on. Where is he? Yep, Chicago Bears. Sleeper pick.
I stand corrected.
They went with all these cheap contracts. So, we talked about it. They can create cap for 2023. So, not a bad deal. It's Gears, you're right. That Tunsil deal, man, Miami's lucking out. They still got the 2 first-round picks next year. And, yeah, they're going to be fine. In terms of the East, we got to look at it. I think the consensus rankings in the East have now become the Bills at the top. Bit of a gap. Then the Dolphins. Then the Patriots. And then the Jets. And some people are even teetering, including myself, on depending on how this draft goes and the trades that could still be made. Patriots are pretty fucked.
I could see the Pats falling in second in the division. I could see the Pats falling 4th in the division, and obviously third. So it's a real fun 3-way shift.
We just have.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
No. That was rude of me.
So obviously Patriots I still trust the most, only because with Bill, and just real quick on the Patriots. Did you hear the story with what happened with the coach's photo?
No. What happened with the coach's photo? Because
There's
I know
20
Belichick wasn't there, right?
No, Belichick was there.
He was.
Missed the photo. He literally
Okay.
missed the photo. And here's the story from what happened, apparently. So there are 28 total coaches in the photo out of the 32. 2 were away because they just actually couldn't be there. Somebody else missed it, and Bill Belichick missed it.
Yeah.
This was reported. Bill. So they're all getting in the little spots in the photo line, whatever, and they're taking the photo. And if you look at the photo, next to Sean, right in the middle of the front, is an empty spot, essentially, where it'd be very simple for Bill Belichick to be standing there because Sean McVay, Bill, probably the 2 biggest coaches in the NFL, right front and center, right? So apparently, when the photo is being taken from like the clubhouse or wherever it is they're doing their thing, he came running out, literally running out to make the photo, not just by himself. Would you like to guess who was with him?
His girlfriend?
Matt Patricia.
Oh, boy.
There were, 29, 30 coaches at this meeting. There was only one assistant head coach of any capacity that was at this meeting, and it was Matthew Patricia. And the fact that they're in that clubhouse going over shit, whatever, they go, Bill, you got to make that photo. Not, okay, Bill, go run and make the photo. Matt Patricia, who is a large person, is running out of this clubhouse to make the photo. It's just, I wish there was a video or something we could find.
God, kind of. All right, that'll bring us into our next point. But yeah, the Patriots are screwed. We just don't have cornerbacks to
Great
cover.
point by It's Gear. Yeah, no, I think it's proven at this point that Patricia and Bill, it's not a working relationship. I legitimately think they're friends outside of work. Like, they hang out and watch.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%. That's why he's apparently going to coach the offense.
He has 3 different titles. He's in the front office. He's the offensive line coach. And now he's an offensive assistant for scheming. I don't know what he does now.
I don't know either. All I know is this is the nightmare scenario that I saw weeks ago. Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, who since he stopped being the Pats defensive coordinator, he still wasn't even that great. Everything he touches turns to poo. This is the worst case scenario for Mac Jones because you have Matt Patricia, who I just talked about. You have Joe Judge, the classic 3rd and 15 inside the 5 QB sneak guy, which I'm sorry, that's a resume all in itself. That is. These are 2 guys who are fucking nut jobs. There's no stability there. You don't have one guy to go to. You have 2 who knows how they're going to work together. I'm not convinced because they're both coming off head coaching jobs recently. Egos are going to butt heads. I'm sorry. It's going to happen. This is horrible. This is terrible. Who's next? Urban Meyer. I would, you know what? Honestly, bring Urban in just to fuck with everything.
There will never be another Urban Meyer. Just that is without a doubt the worst NFL head coaching hire ever, Andy. You can't argue it.
All right. The hire itself wasn't bad because the idea was there. It's just the worst coaching tenure of all time.
We're talking Bobby Petrino at Arkansas and then Urban Meyer.
He left on his own.
Bobby Petrino, and then
he didn't even get fired. He left.
It just that's where we're at right there. That's 1A, 1B.
We're gonna have to cut this short soon because I feel sad. I feel sad. I feel like we've totally gotten off topic here.
We did.
Jabril Peppers, we signed.
2 quick last points I want to bring up.
Go.
Did you have Bill's comments asked about Patricia and Joe Judge's?
No, I have not.
So someone basically asked, like, their roles are kind of in the air. Like, yes, they've been rumored about this or that, but like, what's their official title going to be? Bill simply stated that he wasn't big or wasn't a fan of titles. So you have an idea. We're not getting an offensive coordinator, folks. We're just going to have an offensive team.
We're just going to have guys who coach the offense.
That's going to be great for Mac. Mac's going to be pointing at 3 different guys. What's the call?
What's the call? Do we have an OC? No, we have a GWTO guy who coaches offense.
We're going to have situational.
GWCO.
Okay, 3rd and long, we go to Joe. 1st and 10, we go to Matt. Go inside the 20, go to Nick.
Poor Mac Jones is out on the field just like, I don't know what to do. This is going to be it's going to be awful. All right, you had a second point?
Yeah, just it's Gabe brought it up. Just one of the points, a good point. Robert Kraft spoke today, asked about, recent Patriots work since Brady left. Kraft, quoted saying he's bothered. Bothered is the key word by Patriots' lack of playoff success, which I think is fair. It's not ridiculous.
He should be.
I think, though, it was a long point, but he also did bring up, kind of the improvement from Cam to Mac, which makes sense. And hopefully, I think the expectation this year for Robert, from what I kind of saw in his comments, was win a playoff game. I think that's what Robert expects.
Well, we don't always get what we want, do we? Because we're worse than last year, bro.
It's bad. We got Jabril Peppers, baby. Come on.
Yes, we did sign Jabril Peppers, 1-year deal, the former Giant safety, former Michigan star, and former number 1 high school recruit.
We have like 6 safeties on this team now. Like we have so many safeties.
Oh, no, I was looking at the base defense some guy put out as a depth chart, and like we have Jabril Peppers playing sub linebacker packages. Like this is – look, it's fine. Jabril Peppers, it's not a great signing. I'm not going to say that because I don't think he's that great a player. But if he could play like he did in 2020, which he was solid, he has a lot of athletic ability. He's admittedly been overrated his entire career. So is there upside? Yes. Is there a lot of downside? Not really, because it's we have plenty of safeties and it's a 1-year deal. So I think it's a good signing. It's probably the second best signing we've made this offseason aside for re-signing Trent Brown. That's not good. But it's a step in the right direction. We do need to add guys to this team. So I'm a fan of it. Just, again, I'm not looking at it like this is amazing. It's just kind of like, no, it's a good signing. Who knows if he can prove? Maybe he can prove me wrong. Maybe he can finally not be this overrated just athlete. He was a good kick returner and punt returner. That's a nice element. But in coverage, I didn't see anything special at Michigan.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah,
but hopefully Bill can fix him, as he's done many other things. He likes broken things. So
he does like broken things. He likes to keep things broken, apparently too.
Well, Andy, I think it's time for some rankings.
Yeah, let's get to the draft because that'll bring a smile to my face. Also, it's gear. I love the comments, man. Like, keep it coming. Yeah. We'll be here for a little while. All right, so these are my personal rankings. We're gonna go position by position. Kind of tell you guys, a little bit about the players, just who I have, kind of where I see them getting drafted. And Bob, just stop me whenever you want. But we got to start.
Stop.
Okay. We'll go position. I don't have I will say one thing. I don't have like a big board. I'm just not at that point yet where I'm able to do that. Just ranking positions against each other, it can be kind of tough sometimes. So I'm still working on that. But position-wise, I feel pretty good about these. I will say with a lot of them, it's, maybe I have a 1 and a 2, and then 3, 4, 5 are like all grouped together. And it's just a matter of preference for me. That's how a lot of these things are kind of spread out. So, for example, we're going to start with the quarterbacks. And the way I have it is I have a number 1, and then I have 4 guys who are pretty close. So my number 1 quarterback is Malik Willis from Liberty. Just the highest upside in this class. It is Lamar Jackson athleticism with an absolute howitzer for an arm. He showed it off at his pro day. He's really impressed in interviews. And I think if you look at all these guys, he has a lot to work on. He is not a day 1 starter, but he has the tools to be really successful. At number 2, these guys are all very close together, and I'm going off some preferences here. Number 2, I've got Sam Howell from UNC. I've got Matt Corral from Ole Miss at 3, Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati at number 4, and Kenny Pickett at number 5. And it's funny because Kenny Pickett was my number 1 guy a couple months ago.
Yeah, so out of this 5, I am actually kind of supportive, especially from Malik Willis and the rest. I think that's definitely where it is. Why is Kenny so far down now? I understand, the drop from 1 to wherever you want to put him, from 1 to 5, but those other 3, I understand, it's all in the same group, more or less.
Yeah.
But what made you put him at 5?
So, again, these guys are all still very close together. Howell to Pickett. When I ordered them, what I look for in a quarterback is upside. I've looked at how the league is changing over the past couple of years, and who are the successful quarterbacks? The ones who have something really special about them. Kenny Pickett, honestly, is probably the best day 1 starter in this group. He is probably one of the only ones I feel confident can go out on an NFL field and be a suitable starter, from day one. But when I look at these other guys, I just see more tools that I really like. Sam Howell, number one, he's one of the younger ones, and he has been super successful in college. This last year, he took a bit of a dip. Now, he also lost De'Ami Brown. There's another wide receiver, Quez. I'm blanking on the other one. Michael Carter. Javonte Williams, he lost a ton of NFL talent, and that team definitely had its struggles, but he's big, he's mobile, he can make every NFL throw. There's some decision-making with him. PFF has him at quarterback 1, and it's all based off potential, so he could easily jump Malik Willis at some point in his career. That's why I have him number 2. Matt Corral, I really like his accuracy, and I just think he's got some swagger to him. He's also a mobile guy, too. There's something I like his style of play. It's aggressive. He is a little smaller. He's going to get beat up a little bit, but I'm not too worried about him. Desmond Ridder is that older one. He's kind of like the leader in the locker room. He's got more zip on the ball after watching his pro day and combine workout than I thought. The one thing with him is accuracy. Is it going to improve? And we see guys improve in the NFL level. From college, Josh Allen, perfect example. Not that Ridder is anywhere near that, but he's also a really good athlete. Pickett, again, it's just he's a good quarterback. He's mobile. He has an okay arm. The hands, I'm not worried about that. I mean, it's definitely not great. It's something I'm going to think about if I'm a GM drafting him, but I see the highest floor with him, but the lowest ceiling, if that makes sense. I think, like Malik Willis, highest ceiling, he might have the lowest floor. He really looked bad at some points at Liberty, but he was also playing with no NFL talent. So it's hard to evaluate these guys. You see so many different rankings. Desmond Ridder is number 1 for a lot of people. Matt Corral is literally I've seen all these guys ranked as number 1 guys. So like I said, for me, it's Malik Willis just based off the highest traits and everything. But Kenny Pickett's probably the day 1 starter of the group. It's funny. I have him going in the first round right now. He could go as high as Carolina at 6.
So I wanted to follow up on that because Malik is if I put him house money on it, I'm putting Malik in the first round somewhere. He's not going to get in the first round.
He will not.
I would definitely put Kenny. I feel like the other 3 could definitely fall out of the first round, but the only one I would feel confident going in the first round is Kenny.
Yeah, I think you can book Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis in the first round. If I'm picking one of the next 3, I think it'll be Desmond Ridder, if anything, because NFL teams are really going to like his experience and his just leadership there. It's a good trade for him. And, I mean, he's a good quarterback. Like I said, I have some issues with his accuracy. I worried a little bit watching him against Alabama because I felt like – and I know that his offensive line was not that good. I think he's 6'5". Every ball, I feel like every other ball I saw got batted down. At some point, it's like, come on, man, you got to figure it out. But no, he's definitely impressed. Like I said, I don't think any of these guys have a first round true grade for me, but you're going to see 2 or 3 go in the first round, possibly 4. Honestly, Sam Howell, I think, is the other one that could sneak in there. The fact is, the thing about the first round is you have the 5th-year option. If one of these teams, maybe they're picking early in the second, they want to, get back into the first just to get the 5th-year option on a quarterback they're going to do it. They're going to go get him. So that's where I got the quarterbacks. It's a fun one.
Quarterbacks are always fun, and they're always overvalued, or at least overdrafted, because Malik and Kenny can go both top 10. In reality, they're not the 2 top 10 players in the draft.
Yeah.
So.
Just get me to next year when we have Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Spencer Rattler, Tyler Van Dyke, all these guys. It's going to be a fun one. All right, let's go to the running backs. Let's see. Number 1, so I have Breece Hall from Iowa State. At this point, he's kind of taken over as the consensus number 1 running back. Correct. Is he a first rounder? I don't think he's that good, but if anyone is going to make it into the first round, Bills, the Bucks have been a potential fit. Would make sense. I would get it, but I still don't think these guys are first rounders, but he is going to be a day 1 starter, 3-down running back in the NFL. Kenneth Walker next, tons of power. He can catch passes. Pass protection is the only issue with him. Dameon Pierce. If you haven't seen this guy in the pre-draft process, he's fun to watch. I hate that I kind of said that, but that's such a generic thing to say. But if you watch him at the Senior Bowl, He's taking reps at the end of practice, doing pass blocking against linebackers and defensive ends, and the dude blows people up. I absolutely love it. Florida did not use him enough. Shout out to fellas. Grizzy. Man, we're getting more comments tonight. I absolutely love this. But Dameon Pierce, great pass protection. He was on the bench at the combine, and I think he got to 23 reps or something, 21. And the last one, you could hear him yell at the spotter, "Don't touch that bitch." So big fan of him. He's going to be an effective runner at the NFL level, and he'll be great in pass cover and pass protection. James Cook from Georgia is my number 4. You saw he's a big play guy. He's Dalvin Cook's brother. Part of that's going to play in. He is kind of a mini version of Cook, not as big, but the dude, if he can catch passes and he can make explosive plays. There was like a 60-yard run in the national championship game. Absolutely loved watching him. I think he's a third down back day one in the NFL, and who knows what he can develop into. And then my last one, number 5, I've got Tyler Algier from BYU, former linebacker. That's all I need to hear. I had Abram Smith in this spot earlier this year. Algier's a little bit of a better runner, but anytime I hear the words converted linebacker, I want them. Javonte Williams last year, converted linebacker. Like, if you tell me a running back played linebacker in high school or early in college, I will draft him. Like 100%. But anyway, with these guys, a lot of day 2 picks. Kenneth Walker, I think, and Breece Hall. I mean, they are round 2s. The rest of these guys, round 3, round 4 range.
So, Andy, overall, obviously with Hall and Walker, I fully agree. Top 2, clear cut, etc. I'm surprised you've left somebody specific off this list, off your top 5. Where's Isaiah Spiller?
He has tested absolutely dog shit.
That's fine. Yeah, because there's a whole highlight reel of gameplays that also Scott's going to look at.
Yeah, well, you can do that in college, but I'm sorry, there are certain things that I have come across in my time just evaluating draft prospects. If you can't hit certain athletic thresholds, you're not going to translate well to the NFL. Spiller's a good runner, I'll say that, but just not a good 40 time, not a good broad jump, no vertical, just really not an explosive athlete. And I fear how that's going to transition. Now, I like his tape, I'm not going to lie. So he's going to get drafted, but I don't have him in my top 5. Running backs are interchangeable. If one guy is just not athletic enough, I'm not going to bother.
I'm just saying, I know his agent said it, so take it with a grain of salt, but he's apparently injured during the workouts. So.
Yeah, everybody is. Don't test them. Don't test.
Hey, we talk crap on guys who drop out of doing the test.
Yeah, but that's the thing. In today's day and age, I don't care if you don't do the testing because you're probably better off. It's better than going in and actually doing it and sucking. I got to think of the guy. But basically everyone at the Texas A&M Pro Day almost fell off my list. Jaden Wyermeyer, we're going to get to the tight ends in a little bit. He ran like a 5+ 40-yard dash. That's undraftable. That's literally, he's off my board. I don't want to take a guy like that. You have to be an athlete. Anyway, that's
undrafted rookie. Sounds great.
I mean, that's what happens. Anyway, running back group, it's solid. There's no stars, but Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker, I think, will be good NFL running backs. Now we're going to go to the fun one, the wide receivers. Nice. And I'm going to say this list is chalky. That's for certain.
Andy,
go ahead.
Before you even say the list, I want to ask a clarifying question.
Go ahead.
Are you including current injury status with this list into how you grade them?
Oh, yeah. No, I understand if people are injured.
When you're ranking them from 1 to 5, are you including current injuries? This guy would be 2 normally because he's out.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, no. I take these into consideration, but I also consider they're coming. It sounds like they're going to be healthy, and I've watched them before, so that's kind of what happens here. So, top 5 here. Number 1. You're going to call me a homer. I have Garrett Wilson.
I'm going to call you a homer.
Call Daniel Jeremiah a homer, too. He's got him as his 8th-ranked player. Or 5th in his latest rankings.
The Ohio State guy is the top-ranked one. Shocker. But go ahead.
I mean, he's literally just stronger, faster Calvin Ridley. That's pretty solid. And I think he knows to put DraftKings away on his phone. But I have Garrett Wilson, number 1. Number 2, I have Jameson Williams from Alabama, the former Ohio State transfer, funny enough. Number 3, Chris Olave from Ohio State. Number 4, I have Drake London. I know you're going to give me some shit for that. And number 5, I've got Treylon Burks from Arkansas. There's a lot of good ones who didn't make this cut. Christian Watson, Sky Moore, Jahan Dotson. Yes. There's a lot of good wide receivers.
McBride, baby.
Sorry,
tight end.
I was going to say tight end, but
Where's Justin Ross?
No.
I love
Justin
him.
Ross. I do like Justin Ross, but it's not in this thing. Late day 2, maybe day 3 guy.
All right, so a few things about this list for you. First,
go ahead.
I understand with the injury, and this is why I kind of asked that clarifying question at the beginning, because I think Jameson Williams is the best, non-injury wise, he's the best receiver in the class. Do you agree?
Okay. I disagree. It's closer though. With him, obviously unbelievable speed. And he does what I like is he's not like a Darius Hayward Bay. It's not just straight downfield speed. He does have some twitch in his game. Garrett Wilson, the thing I love about him and why he's number 1 is just he has natural ability to just get open. He creates so much separation. Is he the fastest? No. Is he the best athlete? No. But the dude has great hands. He makes incredibly athletic catches. And I know if I trot him out on an NFL field, he is going to get open for years to come. So that is why I really like him. Like I said, he's a faster, stronger Calvin Ridley. And say what you want about Ridley. He's been a damn good wide receiver in the NFL.
Great at gambling, too.
Also, not very – I guess he's okay.
When it comes to Wilson and Williams and how you want to rank them, I'm okay with that. Now, I'm going to call you out on your hypocrisy real quick because your earlier rankings with the quarterback specifically, you like to do it potential. When it comes to close comparisons, you want to do potential over 4, correct?
Yeah.
So then why?
I didn't say that's for everyone.
Why is Olave above Drake London? Because Drake London definitely has a better ceiling than Olave.
I could. I will admit, I am concerned with Drake London's ability to translate to the NFL. Obviously, the one thing is I haven't seen him run. I want to see what his 40 time looks like. And I know I'm not going to get it. Or maybe he will. I don't know if he's had his pro day or not. I haven't watched USC's, but if he's earning in the 4.5s and maybe even a high 4.5, low 4.6, that's fine because at his size, 6'5", 215,
6'5", baby,
that's perfectly acceptable speed, and he doesn't create separation. By the way, these guys are all close. By the way, these are all first-round players, so it's not like this is a big gap. London does a lot of things great. He doesn't separate downfield, but that's because that's not his game. He is a jump ball guy. He is the 50-50 ball, and he is the guy when you need a big wide receiver who creates separation at the line of scrimmage. He's going to go good out of the slot. Chris Olave can do anything, and I love that about him. I've watched him for years. He's a technical route runner. Dude, let me talk about the goddamn prospect. I'm acting like I'm just like out here just like Chris Olave. No, he's a good goddamn player. Does everything you need a wide receiver to do. He's experienced. The guy's a leader. Honestly, he's a Patriots player. I'll tell you that much. And a lot of people will agree with that statement.
He is.
He is.
For Pats, I'd be thrilled.
Oh, yeah. Downfield speed. He can go for the jump ball. He's Ohio State's all-time leader in touchdown passes, so he's a red zone threat. His game translates to the NFL beautifully, and he is a guy who I have no doubt will be like a top 20 wide receiver one day. He might not even be a number 1. He might just be the best number 2 in the NFL, but he's going to be a consistent player for a long time, and I want to almost bet on that certainty. Drake London, I've said before, we've seen one Pro Bowl wide receiver with a frame similar to his since like 2000 or 2010. And it's AJ Green. And AJ Green is a different kind of animal back then. So I think London can be good. I have him going higher than Olave if it makes you feel better. But for my personal rankings, I have Olave a little bit higher than him. It's not much, but it's a little bit. And then Treylon Burks, he would have gone on.
That's fifth. I mean, I feel like it's like those four and then Burks.
Burks was like number one for a lot of people before the combine, and then he tested, and he wasn't this amazing athlete that everyone thought. He was just like really good, and everyone dogged him for it. They're like, "You only ran a 4.5 at 225 pounds. Like what a fat piece of shit. Like that's absolutely moving." But everyone thought he was going to be more than that. He didn't bench that much. Like there was just there's a little surprise there. But he's still good. He's still explosive on the field. So you got to trust the tape. So the wide receivers, like I said, they're all very close. There's a lot of guys who could go in the first round, especially because a lot of teams need them right now. All right. We'll blow through the tight ends. It's a little bit of a boring part, to be honest with you. No day one guys here. Trey McBride is my number one guy out of Colorado State. Love him because his play style is similar to Travis Kelce. He is not Travis Kelce. Let's just calm down right now. But play style he is. He'll catch a lot of balls in the NFL, but he's a late round 2, early round 3 guy. I have Jeremy Ruckert as my second. Again, kind of similar to Olave. I look at him and I think his game translates really well. Dude is a strong blocker, and he makes a lot of really athletic catches, and I think that's going to translate well. He's similar to like a Mark Andrews almost, and obviously look how he's translated. I've just compared the 2 tight ends who literally should go in round 3 to guys who are all pro. So we're off to a hot start here. Isaiah Likely from Everett, Mass, funny enough. He more of a wide receiver, to be honest with you. He's got to get a little stronger in the NFL, but he's still going to be a weapon in somebody's spread offense. Greg Dulcich, I know Daniel Jeremiah is really high on him. I watched his combine. It didn't blow me away, but I did watch his tape, and he has a lot of explosive plays in the field. So whatever gets it done, got to respect it. Jelani Woods, 6'7". He's a big dude from Virginia. Like I said, Weidermeyer, I had him at like number 2 originally, and he just, dude, if you run a 5+ 40, you're out. That's it. Like, that's just like that's the line for me. You can't be a skill player and run a 5. But Woods had a really strong testing day, and you see a body like that who can move. I'm gonna take a shot on that. That could be some high potential in the NFL.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but Trey McBride, I think, is a clear-cut number 1 for the position.
He's that guy who you're going to want to snag in fantasy as like your backup tight end, or like if you got one of the late ones, take a shot on him.
Baby, that was last year's Siki tight end pick. I got no doubt.
Oh my goodness! Talk about his own dynasty team. All right, let's get to the offensive tackles. This is a fun one. So to start off, I've got Ike Ekwonu at number 1. I think he might be a top 3 player in this draft. Dude is a monster in the run game. Competitive, uber athletic, pass blocking, got really good at the end of the season. He's going to improve in that, but he's a day 1 tackle. And I think at worst, he's going to be an all-pro guard. Absolutely love his tenacity. Evan Neal is my second one. These guys, the top 3 here, they're all potential top 10 picks, by the way. Evan Neal from Alabama. Love his versatility. He's played right tackle. He's played left tackle. He's played one of the right or left guard, I forget, in 3 years at Alabama. Changed positions every year and was a stud each time. Again, there's that picture, compared him to Vince Wilfork. He's heavier than Wilfork, and he's way skinnier than him. Absolutely hysterical. Number 3, I got Charles Cross from Mississippi State. Pass blocking extraordinaire, probably the best one in this class. An SEC guy who went into Mike Leach's pass-first offense. He did a damn good job. I think he could be really great. Trevor Penning from Northern Iowa, small school guy, but he's a freaking bully. You've seen the clips from the Senior Bowl. He was a dick to guys, and I love that about him. Huge run blocker. He's going to get beaten pass coverage sometimes. He's going to have to work on that, but he's got a lot of potential. And then Bernard Raymond, who served in the Austrian army after high school. Then he went to Central Michigan, played tight end, redshirted for like a year. Then he had COVID year, and then he was an offensive tackle, and now he's like a first-round offensive tackle. So very interesting player, very interesting profile. But I will say this is a year where if you need a tackle, you can get one.
100%. And I agree with the top 5 fully. Those 5 selectively, I think, are the clear-cut top 5 position. I actually agree with 2 with Ekwonu. Should be the top pick. He's a monster, man. That dude scares me. That's one of those dudes, like, just if you see him on the other side of the line, you're scared for yourself on the defense.
Yeah.
Like that's
Oh,
he just adds an intimidation presence, which is so great to have. And you put it perfectly. I think Evan Neal and Charles Cross are both top 10 potential candidates, and they probably will, just given the value of the position. They're all just mutants of athletic phenomenal.
guys are getting way more athletic nowadays. It's nuts.
then-
All these guys are first rounders.
And then Penning and Ryman, they're both very skilled, and they could develop into top tier one. So it's a great top 5 class this year.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. And there's still guys you can get later. Interior offensive linemen, combination of guards and centers. Number 1, it's Tyler Linderbaum, arguably the best center prospect to come out in a long time. And it's funny how the position's getting devalued because he's going to be a center in the NFL. He's not going to be – I don't know if he's going to be a guard or if he's going to change to that ever. But you'll see kind of what happens to him in the draft. He's going to fall a little bit just because of the positional value.
Well, real quick on that note, it's just it makes me funny that this position gets devalued when Creed Humphrey almost won fucking Rookie of the Year last year for Kansas City because
he went in the second round.
Phenomenal.
That's why you can get him in the second round. You just know you got to take shots on higher value positions in the first round. So we'll see what happens there. The other guys I got, Zion Johnson from Boston College, huge riser throughout this draft process. He's gone from day 2 guy to certified day 1. Kenyon Green from Texas A&M. He's kind of always been in that first round, but he didn't test well recently. I'm not terribly surprised. And to be honest, as a guard, he's not going to play tackle. He's going to be a guard. Testing's not the most important thing. It's more just the tape. Can you block? If you can do that, then you're going to be safe. Tyler Smith, another riser from Tulsa. Kid's a young redshirt sophomore, and he's a bully in the run game. Some offensive coach is going to look at him and say, I can make that guy into an all-pro. Is he a guard? Is he a tackle? I don't know, really. I put him in the interior guys for now. I want him on this list. Had to make sure. And then I got Darian Kennard, another guy who played tackle in college. Size-wise, probably going to have to transition to guard, but really solid, strong player from Kentucky. But, like I said, it's a good offensive line class. I had Jabari Salier on here from Georgia. He's a guy who just didn't make the cut, but still, that's an early day 2 player right there. So, again, for the offensive line, if you need it this year in the draft, whether it's inside or outside, you can find it.
It's definitely one of the deeper classes in a while, especially with the top tier talent level. And then when it drops off too, it's really good year for just talent overall on the offensive line. And again, same with the tackles here. I think you did a great job getting your top 5 guys. I think Linderbaum and Johnson will go first round. I think the rest will drop. But as you kind of mentioned, that's just the unfortunate value of the position. So there'll be some good steals in rounds 2 and 3.
That there will be. All right, let's get to the edge rushers. This is a fun one. Number 1, going with the consensus here. I got Hutchinson, Aiden Hutchinson, the edge from Michigan. Number 2, I've got Kayvon Thibodeau, the Oregon edge rusher. I don't know why I keep saying edge rusher. We all know they're edge rushers. Number 3, Trayvon Walker from Georgia, who had that absolutely insane combine. Number 4 is Jermaine Johnson from Florida State, another guy, huge riser throughout this process. Number 5, I've got Boye Mafe, another guy who kind of came out of nowhere in the draft process, but after a really strong year at Minnesota, shows a lot of explosiveness and a lot of raw ability. Someone's going to want to grab him. Couple guys who I want to mention who just missed the cut too. I know you want to point them out. George Karlaftis and David Ajabo, who he would have been number 5, but the Achilles, I got to take him out.
That was so dark, by the way, too. Just the entire 8 coaches are just watching him.
I heard the video. I heard people talking about that. Apparently, it's not as bad as it looks because they couldn't tell if he was stretching, if they didn't want to overcrowd him. They couldn't tell he was screaming in pain. So
I'm not asking for everybody to crowd. I'm just whoever's running the thing, run over. Hey, David, you good?
Yeah, I guess the video makes it look a lot worse than it was. At least I think that's what Hutchinson was saying in a podcast.
That's Ojobo with the injury, and that unfortunately makes sense. And it just sucks. Hopefully, I'm sure he'll still get drafted, but someone's going to get a really good steal on him. With Karlaftis, that's just – did he arguably – I'll say arguably here – have one of – in terms of what his value was before the Combine versus after, did he have one of the most significant drops?
I think it's less that he fell. It's more that other guys rose up. I mean, he's still looking at it as his floor is the top of the second round. Somebody's going to take him. And he didn't test bad. He just didn't test amazing. Apparently today he ran a 4.71, which is good for a defensive lineman, but it was sub-zero. It was like sub-freezing in at the Purdue Pro Day. So people were like, whoa. So who knows? Maybe he rises back up. But like I said, these other guys are just showing a lot more potential here. And I mean, you're going to get 3 of these guys are going to go very high when we talk about the mock draft soon.
We kind of talked about it in our last episode, but Trayvon Walker again,
yeah.
You want to talk about risers after the combine?
This kind of top 10. Yeah, this athleticism just doesn't come around that often. We'll talk more about these guys. I want to make sure we don't spend too much time here, and we'll talk about them in the mock too. But again, it's a talented edge group, that's for certain. We'll blow through the defensive linemen. We've talked enough about Jordan Davis. He's my number 1 guy. There's no more to say. He's just a freak. Devontae Wyatt too from Georgia. Honestly, if not for Davis, we would be talking about how freaky his combine was. Those guys, I've got them round 1 easy. In terms of like tiering these guys, and I'll mention it for the edge rushers too. All those top 5 guys, I have them as first rounders. Defensive linemen, Davis and Wyatt are round 1. Travis Jones from UConn is my number 3. He's borderline. Kind of depends what a team's looking for, but he's early day 2, late day 1. After that, it's not that strong a class. It's actually pretty weak. I have Fedarian Mathis from Alabama and Perion Winfrey at number 4 and 5. Perion Winfrey from Oklahoma. Those guys are late day 2, day 3 guys. Mathis more of like, clog the run kind of game. Maybe take up 2 defenders, hopefully. Perion Winfrey, he's not good against the run, but he can rush the passer from the interior. So it really depends what you're looking for, but it's overall not a very strong defensive lineman class, but you have a couple guys at the top who make it look really nice.
My one question, what made you keep Logan Hall off?
He's too much of a tweener for me. Too much, just a little bit. He's up there in consideration. I feel like everyone thinks like, oh, these tweeners, they could be like Aaron Donald. It's like, no. Aaron Donald is the unicorn. And a lot of these tweeners, they don't do very well. They're not big enough to play defensive line, but they're not fast enough to be on the edge.
I'm confident saying I'll be in my mid-40s next time I see an Aaron Donald-like player.
I fully agree with you on that one. Let's go to linebackers. So there's a top 2 here, and then there are like 7 guys who are all together. So I tried to make a top 5 here, but it's tough. So my number 1 guy is Devin Lloyd from Utah. Number 2 is Nakobe Dean, who I've had him as my number 1 guy for so long. But the fact is the athleticism, I think it's there enough for the NFL, but it's not going to look good testing. Lloyd, he does have better numbers, so he does get the edge for me. And again, you come down to it, there's certain athletic traits that do like translate better to the NFL, and you got to have them at some point. And Dean, I think he can play it. The tape says it. He played in the SEC and dominated, but it's going to hurt him in this case. And I'm going to bet on Lloyd a little bit more. Number 3, I've got Troy Anderson from Montana State. Dude came out and ran a 4.4 and had an absolute day at the combine, played multiple positions in college, turned to linebacker, I think like his sophomore year, and was like, I forget what conference Montana State is, but he was defensive player of the year. Dude can ball out, and I want that kind of a side-to-side athlete on my team. Leo Chenal from Wisconsin. He's that classic run-stopping linebacker. He was supposed to set the record at the he was going to potentially go for 40 reps on the bench at the combine. Didn't bench there. He put up 34 at his pro day, which still would have won the combine. But I was a little sad on that one. But he's a damn good player. Christian Harris from Alabama, I've got at number 5. And again, a lot of these guys are just right there. Chad Muma from Wyoming, Quay Walker from Georgia, Channing Tindall from Georgia. Notice the Georgia theme here. All these guys are, I think, day 2 picks. And if you're looking for a linebacker, you don't have to go in round 1 to get Lloyd or Kobe Dean, because you can go in round 2, round 3, and grab Chad Muma or Christian Harris or whoever you want at this point. It's such a deep class.
It is deep, but would you argue?
Darian Beavers is another one.
Would you argue, though, it's not as bad as the interior defensive lineman, don't get me wrong, but in terms of the drop-off from those top 2 guys onto the kind of the rest, it is significant. Not bad.
I disagree with you, actually.
Really?
I think they are 1 and 2, but I don't think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are that far off from them. I think they're all talented. Like I said, what Lloyd and Dean make up for with just the on-field production they lack with the athleticism. And again, that translates to the NFL. So you got to keep that stuff in consideration. So I don't think it's a huge gap in between the two groups. But no, I get what you're saying, though. In terms of like draft stock and everything, I do see that. But yeah, basically, I love this linebacker group, and the Patriots need linebackers. So we are definitely going to be talking about that. That is for certain. All right, let's get through the defensive backs. We got 2 more to go through. I'll kind of blow through, and like I said, just stop me when you need to. Cornerbacks. This one's tough for me because Derek Stingley Jr. is one of the best college cornerbacks I've ever seen play, and I watched a lot of LSU games that 2019 year. He has the potential to be one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, but we haven't seen it in 2 years. So it's really hard. Ahmad Sauce Gardner.
Sauce, baby.
Stud. Consistent. You know what you're getting. Guy who didn't give up a touchdown in college, barely gave up yardage. He is talented. Trent McDuffie, smaller, but definitely a great tackler and a smart player. He's going to be a day one starter for somebody in their defense. Andrew Booth Jr., great athleticism, great coverage skills, needs to learn to use his feet better. He kind of gets tangled up underneath himself, but he has a ton of potential. And then a name Patriots fans are going to have to get used to is Kyer Elam from Florida. He had a little bit of a down year at times. There were some games that you thought he wasn't even trying, but he came out and tested really well in the combine. I think he secured himself a round 1 spot, and he definitely could be a talented man coverage corner.
Yeah, good list. The only thing I disagree with is that Sauce, baby. Sauce is number 1 in my heart, in my books. He is so fucking.
Like I said, it's close, but I still will put Derek Stingley Jr. as my number 1 until I see that he can't do it in the NFL. That is some of the best tape I've ever seen. He was amazing.
Sauce didn't get a touchdown, so he's just as amazing.
All right. Last group, safeties. Number 1, Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame.
Love him.
Arguably a top 3 player in this draft class. He's taken a little bit of a hit recently, but the dude's done everything. His testing, was it amazing? No, it was fine. And you see it on tape. He can play. He's almost a Derwin James type. So
I think
definitely.
I think you can call him the best player in this draft.
You could. I can see the argument. Like I said, I don't call him that, but he can definitely be up there. Number 2, Lewis Seen, another guy from Everett, Mass. Just realized that him and Isaiah Likely went to high school together, won state championships. So I thought that was pretty cool. Freakish hitter, freakish athlete from Georgia. Daxton Hill from Michigan. Jaquan Brisker from Penn State, and then Jalen Petrie from Baylor. Guy who, is he a corner? Is he a safety? I don't care. I think he played safety, and he was nasty at the Senior Bowl. So that was a lot of guys, but top 5. And it will probably change again before the draft. We got 1 month to go.
A lot of time, a lot of changes, a lot of news to come out.
A lot of players. All right, give me a break here, Bob. Let's do this love-hate.
Let's do this love-hate, Andy. So I got a little handful here, and I kind of wanted to roll back time from last week's stuff that we with free agency more focused, but I also want to take some love this week and some stuff that broke. But focusing on last week and kind of going into before the draft happens, I wanted to ask you, what do we love more, Andy? Do we love Marcus Mariota starting in the NFL, or do we love Mitchell Trubisky starting in the NFL?
That's a tough one because you know how I feel about my Mitch.
I do. I very much do.
I feel I'm going to go with Mitch on this one, and here's why. Marcus Mariota had a good chance to be successful in Tennessee, and he really wasn't. He didn't play up to it. Mitch Trubisky, while at times he didn't play up to it, he also didn't exactly have the greatest support systems around him. They did not do him any favors. I think Tennessee put Mariota in a lot better situations, and I think Mitch gets a lot more crap because they're both number 2 overall picks, but Mitch gets more crap. So good for Mitch. Mariota too. He's going to be, he is there not to revive his career. He's there to be the spot starter until they find a new guy. Mitch actually is going in there thinking he could be like the long-term answer. He's got it. He's trying for it. So I'm going with Mitch Trubisky.
Love it. Wanted to make sure we get that in before the draft because Lords and rookie QBs can make that change real quick.
Yeah.
News broke after we ended last week, so I wanted to get this in here. Andy, what do we love more, Devontae Adams to the Raiders or Tyreek to the Dolphins?
I mean, as a Patriots fan, it would be Devontae Adams to the Chargers. But overall, as an NFL fan, I got to go with Tyreek because him and Jalen Waddle is going to be so fun to watch. And here's the thing, and this is, again, for Patriots fans, I'm sorry about this. This is a frightening topic. You have Mike McDaniel coming over from San Francisco. Who did he make into? Now, this is probably Kyle Shanahan too, but who did he turn into an absolute weapon last year? Deebo Samuel. Guess what he has now? A guy who can take the ball on an end around. I think Tyreek Hill could be Deebo Samuel East.
Yeah.
And that is a terrifying thought.
That is horrifying. I don't want that.
But it's going to be really fun to watch. So, Dolphins fans, if Tua can't get you some wins this year, man, like, I don't know what you want to do.
It is time to end the Tua experiment.
He's got a chance. All he has to do is get the ball into their hands. That's it. He doesn't have to go downfield either.
Well, good to see him, Tyreek. Now, focusing back on a quarterback battle, that's probably going to happen, in my opinion. I understand your mock draft may look different. We'll see when we get there.
Right.
For the Detroit Lions, the lovable loser is the team that I think America really was rooting for last year. And who do we love for next year? Do we love Jared Goff starting for that team, or do we love a rookie QB starting for that team?
We love Jared Goff starting for that team. Why? Because, like I just said, I don't think any of these QBs, aside for Kenny Pickett, can start day one. And you're paying Jared Goff and taking a $30 million hit. Play him. He was actually fine. I thought he was fine last year. He's not going to win you playoff games. He's not going to get you to the playoffs, but he can be serviceable. And I think Jared Goff gets a lot, just too much shit. Thank God that guy has a model girlfriend. Otherwise, I don't know what he would be doing.
Well, Andy, good to know. And the reason I brought up the Lions, though, is because of the news that broke this week, which is Hard Knocks will be hosting the Detroit Lions. Now, you say that because I would like to know, what do we love more? The Lions being Hard Knocks' choice, or would have been the other two options been better, either the Panthers or the Jets?
The Panthers is a shit show, so I don't want to see that.
Which makes it kind of better. I kind of want a shit show.
Yeah, but like Detroit's going to be bad, but they're also going to be like hilarious. The Jets, I don't see a lot of entertainment there. Maybe Zach Wilson does something funny or like gets ID'd at a bar or something, but no, I love the Lions. I think they are the perfect Hard Knocks pick. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be phenomenal. Campbell will be a great coach for the show. It's gonna be.
There's gonna be biting kneecaps, which Adam Schefter tweeted that, and it was the worst tweet I've ever seen. Like, dude, that joke is old.
Biting kneecaps, baby.
That was awful, absolutely awful. But this is gonna be a fun episode. It's Dan Campbell. That's all it is. He's lovable.
He's America's favorite coach.
Like, we all thought he was just this big, dumb, idiot jock, and then we realized, like, we actually love this guy. He's hilarious.
He might be a big idiot, but man, is he lovable. Man, does he get guys to buy in.
Dude, yeah, that he does. I think Detroit is rebuilding really well right now. They are setting themselves up. Aaron Rodgers leaves in a couple of years. They can run the North.
I understand this is more of a soccer take than anything, so just bear with me a second. Your head coach doesn't need to be technical genius. You can just hire offensive and defensive coordinators to come up with a great game plan. If Campbell's only job is to get the team collectively to buy in and work together, that's kind of the best aspect for a good head coach.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You got to get someone to buy. You got to get these guys to buy in. They're rebuilding. You really need them to buy in. So, good choice, Hard Knocks. It'll be a fun episode. Are you ready, Bob?
I am ready, sir.
All right. So we're going to go through. This is a post-free agency mock draft I came up with. First round only. How we're going to do this, I'm going to go through the first 10 picks. Bob's going to point out anything, if he wants to talk about it. If he loves a pick, great. If he hates it, if it doesn't make any sense, I want him to tear me a new one. We won't go through every pick because God will be here all night, but we'll blow through here. And like I said, just want to give you guys an idea of where I think teams are going. And we'll do that for 11 through 20 and then 21 through 32. So let's kick it off. Number 1, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Aiden Hutchinson, the edge defender out of Michigan. At number 2, we got the Detroit Lions on the clock, and we're going with the guy who had the freakish combine, edge defender Trayvon Walker from Georgia. At number 3, we got the Houston Texans. Now, this was a tough one for me, but my heart told me to go Ike Ekwonu, like I said, one of my top 3 players in this class. He goes number 3 overall, the offensive tackle from NC State. Helped rebuild that offensive line. Number 4, we got the Jets with their first of 2 top 10 picks, and we're going with Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon, the edge defender. Like I said, we got 3 edge defenders in the first 4 picks. So it's a pretty solid class there. Number 5, we got the New York Giants now on the clock. Their first pick of the top 10. They get number 7 as well. They're going to start with Evan Neal, the offensive tackle from Alabama. Carolina Panthers, here's where we get interesting. First quarterback comes off the board. We're going Malik Willis here at 6 from Liberty. At number 7, this is the second Giants pick. Took it off Evan Neal with the first one. Now they're taking cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati at 7. Number 8, the Falcons. They don't have wide receivers. This was just an easy pick. We're going with my number 1 guy, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. At number 9, the Seahawks in the trade they made with Denver. They get number 9. They're going to take offensive tackle Charles Cross from Mississippi State. And at number 10, the Jets' second pick, top 10, they're going safety Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame. So, Bob, what do you think?
So overall, I actually think first pick, Jacksonville can't go wrong. 800 is a great pick. If they want an offensive lineman of any capacity, great pick. So I overall don't have an issue. 4 to 9, I actually fully support. I think you made some great calls there as well. Honestly, I think every pick really does make good sense. Especially Carolina with Malik Willis if he falls that far. Now, tearing it a little bit here, Detroit. I do like the Trayvon Walker pick. I really, really do. I think if they don't go quarterback, I think that is kind of the ideal personality, freak athlete, perfect kind of guy that Campbell we just joked about once. I really think they have to look at quarterback options. Just with Jared Goff is clearly not the answer, and you need to kind of work out to find that guy. Houston, this is my biggest issue, and I will fight to the end of the earth for this. That is a full-fledged beginning of a rebuild. I understand it's Lovie Smith. I don't know how long Lovie Smith is going to be there. They have to take leaders. They have to take people who can change a locker room. Kyle Hamilton is that guy. I'm sticking with Kyle Hamilton at 3, from my opinion, and I just cannot believe you have him at 10. That is disrespectful to the man.
I get that. And again, I look at Kyle Hamilton, and I think it's about positional value. If I'm going to take let me finish. I can tell what you're going to do. If I'm going to take a safety in the top 3, he better test off the damn charts because I want to get value out of these picks. And when I look at the end of the day, I look at Ike Ekwonu, who I have as a top 3 player in this draft class, the best offensive lineman. My team, I'm probably going to have to move Laramie Tunsil at some point. Now, I know they restructured him, but in the future, they're going to have to move him. How do you start to build a team? Through the trenches. That's what Detroit's doing right now. I'm sorry, Nick Caserio, this isn't the Patriots anymore. You can't build back to front. I'm going to take the offensive lineman, start to get a run game going. Maybe that'll help Davis Mills develop because who knows? He showed some flashes last year. I'm going the offensive lineman there because the value of taking a safety, in my opinion, is not worth it at number 3.
All right. I would just, my one other counterpoint, Lovie Smith was a defensive coordinator. He likes defensive guys. I'm going to lean towards that way. And as you just perfectly explained,
I get that.
Caserio's in the Patriot system, builds back to front. Guys going to be looking for corners and safeties. It's
every time somebody has tried to emulate the Patriot way, it doesn't work. Someone's going to find out.
They keep trying. That's the joke.
Maybe this is the time they don't. But that's why I got him going number 3. Admittedly, it took a little out of me to get that. I wanted him. Honestly, I have him penciled in at number 4 for the longest time to the Jets. You ready for the next one?
Yeah, I think we're going to agree on the Kyle Hamilton situation. So I think we should just move on to the next group.
Yeah, we just won't agree on that one. All right, number 11, we got the Washington Commanders. I'm still getting used to that. They take wide receiver Drake London from USC. To number 12, the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. A fall for him, but like we talked about it earlier, there's been some injuries, some concerns over the last couple of years. That's why he's out of the top 10. Number 13, we got the Houston Texans on here again after the Deshaun Watson deal. They land defensive lineman Jordan Davis, the big man from Georgia. Number 14, we got the Baltimore Ravens. They missed out on Zadarius Smith in free agency. He backed out of a contract, so I'm going to have them taking another edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson from Florida State. This is a little bit of a fall for him, to be honest. Number 3, 15. We got the Eagles with the first of their 3 picks all in this one. So I'm kind of going to group these together. So at 15, I've got the Eagles taking defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt from Georgia, put him next to Fletcher Cox until he retires. Number 16, I've got the Eagles taking wide receiver Jameson Williams. And then at number 19, we're going to skip the other 2 just to group the Eagles together. I've got them taking Trent McDuffie. So Devontae Wyatt, Jameson Williams, and Trent McDuffie, the cornerback from Washington for the Eagles. Pretty damn good first round. Jumping back here, number 17, the Chargers take offensive tackle Trevor Penning from Northern Iowa. At number 18, the New Orleans Saints take Chris Olave, the wide receiver from Ohio State. Last time they took an Ohio State wide receiver, worked out pretty well for him. And then number 20, after the Eagles next pick at 19, which was Trent McDuffie, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers on the clock, and I've got them taking quarterback Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh.
All right. Well,
so he can play in Pittsburgh.
Wait, he's from Pittsburgh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, dude, he played at Heinz.
So Andy, start off things I did like. I do love Drake London to Washington. That is, they do need that superstar.
They need a big wide receiver for Carson Wentz. That's it.
So
just makes perfect sense.
Stingley of Minnesota, they have one of the worst cornerback rooms in arguably the NFL. So they definitely do that immediately, and you love them, so perfect. And some later picks like Penning to LA. I do like Kenny to Pittsburgh just for the competition aspect. A couple questions I want to ask you about. Excuse me. Jordan Davis at 13. Surprisingly high. Why'd you have him go there?
He's rising up the boards, man. This is where he's going to start to go. 13 to 20, I would say. That's where you're going to start to see him come off the board. But again, just a freaky athlete. And I'm taking the Detroit approach. I think they are going to build throughout the trenches. He would fit in Lovie Smith's defense. He's going to be able to stop the run, and that's going to help get that defense off the field and into better situations in third downs. So I think he could be a good long-term fit for them and just kind of a building block on that defense there. I thought about a couple different positions. I thought about wide receiver here, but I think he makes a lot of sense. And, like I said, I mean, the dude has the ability to be a rare defensive tackle. You can't put a value on that.
Respect. He's
like I said, not a perfect science here.
No, it's not, but he's also, not a common prospect when it comes to draft position. So definitely
he broke science.
And then second question, what made you take Jameson Williams for Philly over Chris Olave? I understand the the potential out of the receiver, but in terms of ready to go, I figured Olave would be a more qualified candidate.
I want Jameson Williams there because I think his downfield speed will complement Devontae Smith's route running better. I think Chris Olave and Devontae Smith, even last year when they were in consideration for the draft, they were kind of similar players. I think the Eagles, you want to get a guy who can go deep, which you thought was going to be Jalen Reagor. It's not Jalen Reagor. He sucks. So you're going to get the speed guy in Jameson Williams. I think he's just a perfect complement and adds different elements to that offense. Olave is a great downfield player, but he's not the same speed as Jameson Williams.
Excellent. Well, the rest of the picks I didn't touch upon, I think, are good. They make sense in some capacity. Those are really 2 big question marks I had for you.
Damn, doing well so far.
The Jermaine Johnson one I really like just because of what happened with their attempted signings. And just that was a great call, and he's a good job.
He honestly should probably go higher than this. I almost had him at number 9 to Seattle, but I looked at when Charles Cross is there and you're doing a rebuild, you got to get the offensive line going. I will say I actually have one trade I'm going to tell you that I think will happen, and this is part of why Drake London went at 11 instead of 10. I think the Jets are going to package those 2 second-round picks they have, the high ones, and I think they're going to go get DK Metcalf.
Ooh.
Seattle came out today, and Pete Carroll said, and I quote, they intend to have DK Metcalf on the roster. They intended to have Russell Wilson there. They're going to trade him. And he does not fetch the same price as Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams, but 38 and 35, I think, are the Jets picks. Package those and send them over to Seattle. You got to pay DK Metcalf. If the Jets come out of this draft on day 2 with Kayvon Thibodeau off the edge, opposite Carl Lawson, Kyle Hamilton at safety with Jordan Whitehead, and DK Metcalf with Corey Davis and Elijah Moore, I will personally bet on the Patriots to finish 4th in the division. It will be that bad for me.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, I will. I will place money.
I just want to say real quick, if Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf end up in the division in the same year, it's going to be hard, man.
Patriots fans are going to need lube at games. It's going to be rough. It is going to be rough. All right, let's blow through. We got the last bit here, the mock. We'll talk for 1 minute about the Patriots pick. I have them going cornerback Kaiir Elam here. And this is a pick, Patriots fans. It's down to 2 guys for me. It's going to be Elam or it's going to be Olave. Are they going offense or are they going defense? Both are Patriots guys. Elam, he answered the downfield speed question for me. 4.39 at the combine. Check. I'm all set. He can play man coverage. He was great at Florida. I know Florida DBs have a little bit of a reputation as sucking in the NFL, but we can't scout the helmet. I think if I'm telling you to bet on a player drafted by the Patriots, if they stay at 21, it's going to be Kaiir Elam. Get used to saying it. We need cornerbacks. Anyway, rest of the round. So at number 22, the Packers, that pick from the Vegas Raiders, they got to get a new wide receiver. They're going wide receiver Treylon Burks here. Arizona at number 23. I'm debated this one. I'm not sure where I want to go. I thought offensive line, but I am going to go with Edge Boye Mafe out of Minnesota. We talked about him a little bit earlier. You lost Chandler Jones. You need to put somebody opposite J.J. Watt, learn from J.J. Watt a bit. Has potential to be a really good pass rusher. I think he's going to move up boards a lot. Number 24, we got the Dallas Cowboys. They got to fix that offensive line. They're going Bernard Raymond out of Central Michigan. Older prospect, but definitely a guy who I think will translate really well to the NFL. Number 25, we got the Buffalo Bills here. They're going cornerback Andrew Booth. I think cornerback's the one thing that they got to work on in order to improve their secondary, but a lot of potential with him. Number 26, Tennessee Titans. I think they brought back Ben Jones, but I'm still going Tyler Linderbaum because I think that run game, Mike Vrabel's going to see him available, and he's just not going to be able to pass him up. It's just going to be such a good addition for them. This dude is going to be Creed Humphrey level good in the NFL. I have no doubt about that. Number 27, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got to replace Ali Marpet, who retired early. They're going to go Zion Johnson out of Boston College. Green Bay Packers on the clock again at 28. They're going to pick up Kenyon Green to improve their offensive line. They got to just protect Aaron Rodgers the next couple of years and give him weapons so they get a wide receiver and an offensive lineman here. 29. So this is the Miami pick that is now the Chiefs. They're going to get a new wide receiver. They're going to go Christian Watson from North Dakota State University. One of the bigger risers, again, we talked about, there have been quite a couple here, but he tested like Randy Moss, essentially. He is not Randy Moss. I'm going to point that out. That's why he's a 6th wide receiver going here, but he tested like him. So that's definitely impressive. Kansas City with 30. They're going to grab David Ojabo here. And we'll talk about this a little after. We'll get through the rest of the picks. But the edge defender out of Michigan, who we just mentioned, tore his Achilles in a workout recently. 31, I got the Cincinnati Bengals here. They don't need offensive line actually anymore. I mean, they could still add to it, but they're going to grab Devin Lloyd. Great value at the linebacker spot to put next to Logan Wilson. Like I said, these guys have kind of followed a little bit because it is a deep draft, but when you can get a guy like Devin Lloyd at 31, that's amazing value. And then finally, the Rams pick the Detroit Lions own for the Jared Goff deal. They are going to not take a quarterback. I thought about it, but they're going to get Nakobe Dean, who I'm still keeping in round 1 because that is a Dan Campbell player. They are adding 2 really good Georgia defenders to that defense, and they need them in the north. So there we go.
Get the Georgia boys up north.
All the Georgia boys. I have 4 in the first round, and Lewis Cine could easily go to Kansas City. So there could be a bunch of them. I think that'd be a record for defenders in a single first round. But yeah, there's my post-free agency round 1 mock. Bob, what do you think of the ending?
So I'm going to pass on the Patriots. You gave a great description. I think you're right. It's going to be receiver corner. That's what Bill's going to look at. I hope it's receiver.
Olave or Elam.
I, as a Pats fan, really do hope receiver, please.
I will personally buy. I will have the Olave jersey pre-ordered draft night.
Touching on the Green Bay picks. So to counter your Jets point, because they're also the DK market, they could package this early first, the 22, and later picks to get also DK. So
I'm giving up 28 for DK. I'm not giving up 22.
if they're in a win now mode, they got to.
They just got 22 for Devontae Adams. There is no shot they're giving up 22. 28, yes.
So either way, but if they were to trade for DK, I think then the Treylon Burks pick is kind of the mute point.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm going to hold.
They also have no wide receivers other than him. What, you got Allen fucking Lazard?
If he's Rodgers' guy, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if they're good or not.
That's fair.
So touching on the Green Bay stuff, similar situation where I think you're right, but I think they're leaders in the DK market right now. I think they're going to make a trade for somebody.
Yeah, that's fair. And I didn't make trades in this, so.
On the Cardinals pick, I really think they're going to go O-line. I think they're going to recognize, and you can see this how you want to, they're going to placate to Kyler at the end of the day. He's the star quarterback. He's selling tickets. He's showing up. And I understand that, we can play the power struggle game all we want, but they usually cave to their star quarterbacks.
I will say this. You can get a guy later, I think. I think when you have a good edge defender, you grab him earlier.
I agree with you. The front office agrees with you. Kyler won't agree with you.
And Kyler's going to bitch about everything.
You do what makes your superstar quarterback happy. It's not the right thinking. I want to get very clear, but it's what I think is going to happen. So they're going to go with Lindenbaum, Johnson, Green, any of those guys, and they could be a good fit. But they're going to, because that O-line does also kind of suck, especially internally.
That's fair.
All right. On Cowboys and Bills, great picks. Don't have an issue. Tennessee, Tampa, same situation. Green Bay touched upon as well. Now get to the fun ones. Kansas City. I understand the Christian Watson pick. Now let me counter with this. Is it possible that they wait to see if one of those later kind of wave of receivers drop to their second round pick?
I don't think you want to count on that in this draft. If anything, Kansas City is a prime candidate to trade up. Package those picks or a first and a second. They might go get Jameson Williams. They might want to they could jump up to 14.
Oh my God, that'd be ridiculous.
They need to add speed, and I do think Watson has it. If they stay here, I think they'll grab him or Sky Moore from Western Kentucky or Western Michigan.
Fair enough. And then the second Kansas City pick I want to ask, you touched upon it, Seattle. I'm shocked. I understand his potential and that, but you really have him still going in the first round after just tearing the ACL?
First of all, it was an Achilles.
Excuse me.
Yes, that might even be worse, actually. So here's my reasoning. So basically, Ajabo going prior to the injury, top 15 lock nearly. People had him in the top 10. I've seen him mocked as high as number 5 to the New York Giants. High potential pass rusher. The word I got from just every scout who I follow, every tweet that I've seen, is the majority of the league felt that he would be, no matter what, a kind of redshirt player. Not going to play a ton his first year. He's still learning football. So any team drafting him is thinking, we're probably not going to get him out there too much. He's going to learn more year one. Now, obviously, tears the Achilles. Probably not going to play year one. He might be back at the end, if anything. You still can use that year as a redshirt year. He's going to be, with the team. He's going to be learning still. He's going to be rehabbing. You also get a 5th-year option on a first-round player. When you have a pass rusher at that level, I think a team, if they can wait, they're going to go up and they're going to grab him just for that extra year of security, especially if it's a guy who you already know year one, you're redshirting him. So either way. So I think there's value in the 5th-year option. That's why at the end of the round 1, you see a lot of teams come up and grab guys, especially quarterbacks and edge rushers, because there's value in having that extra year of control. So that is why I still have Jabo here. It's an Achilles. People are coming back from that. Cam Akers came back and not even a full season. Now, obviously, that was probably a freak thing, but he's going to probably come back and be fine. Again, you get that 5th year on him and you keep the control. So that's the main reason I have him. And, again, it makes sense. Kansas City's going to probably build, maybe not for this year, but they might be building for a year out. So we'll see.
Fair enough. And then last point I want to make, I think the linebacker selections at those spots are genius. I think both those teams need those players. I would just argue I think they're going to go earlier. I think at least one of them definitely will. I will make
maybe. Again, it goes back to talking about the linebacker group. There are 7 or 8 that are first, second, third, high third round guys. if I'm a team, you look at it, would I rather go get the edge rusher at the end of the first, or would I rather get a linebacker when I can get one on day 2? It's just, it all comes down to just the value of the roles. Like the defensive tackles, I think Travis Jones could easily go in the first round, because if you're a team who needs a defensive tackle, the other ones kind of suck after Travis Jones and Devontae Wyatt and George Davis. So you got to rush and get them. The quarterbacks, I mean, you might have to go grab. They're probably all going to fly off the board in the second round. It also wouldn't surprise me if Cincinnati and Detroit just look at it and go, let's trade back. Someone else will give us some future picks or something like that for, the chance to draft Sam Howell and get that extra year. So there's going to be a lot of movement, I think, because there are so many similar players there.
It's gonna be frenzy on draft day. So many picks, changes, exchanges, etc. So
it's gonna be a lot. That's why I take the day off after.
I give you a solid overall B+ on your mark.
You know what? I feel good about that. I'm very happy.
Final statement I just want to make to Mr. Leonard Davis. Thank you for the comment. The Patriot Way worked with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Unfortunately,
it was the Tom Brady way.
Tom Brady will not be coming back through those doors. To quote one of our old Celtics great coach. Unfortunately, it can't be replicated again. And I do think it might work in today's game if you had Tom Brady and Bill, but that'll never be the great combo again, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's the Patriot way was the Tom and Bill way, and we don't have that anymore. So it is gone. Love all the comments we're getting, even though this guy just said hi, like, hey man, what's up? You literally popped in at the end of the show. So bye.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the comments today, everyone. It's good to see some activity there, and we love talking to all y'all.
We got 4 damn people in here. We're gonna get way more than this soon, but we will be back. That was a fun episode. I always love talking, going through rankings and things. I think we're gonna take some division winners in the future, and I think we want to do like a guest mock draft soon. But we got a month until the draft, and we got probably 4 episodes. So we got I
think the 4th episode would be on draft day, or draft week, I should say.
Yeah, perfect then. Oh yeah, no, we're gonna have some fire stuff. I'm gonna tear my hair out. It's gonna be great.
You're fantastic,
Bobby. It's your birthday this week. Happy birthday, my friend. We're gonna get you absolutely obliterated Saturday. So
it's just got to get to the weekend, then it gets all better.
We might have to wait until Tuesday again to record. So
Monday's going to be rough, folks. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. But anyway, it's been a pleasure, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you're listening in the morning, cool. Enjoy your ride to work. We'll catch you next week.